beginning, the offer that wasn't meant to be believed. The first time I met her, I assumed she was part of the city's new advertising campaign. That wasn't unreasonable. New Carthage specialized in spectacle. Giant holograms drifted between towers. AI-guided drones projected interactive ads directly into the air. If a company wanted attention, it didn't knock, it materialized. So when I saw a woman standing in the middle of the transit plaza at 2:14 a.m., surrounded by a faint ring of light that bent the air around her like heat, I assumed she was a projection. Then she spoke my name. Evan Calder, she said calmly. No ad had ever done that. I stopped walking. The night traffic hummed behind me. The woman didn't move. She looked ordinary at first glance. Average height, dark clothing, hair pulled back, eyes sharp and steady. But there was something wrong with the way the light touched her. It didn't reflect. It didn't scatter. It simply stopped. You don't know me, I said. I know you, she replied. I have known you for 37 years, for months and 6 days. That's not possible. She smiled faintly. It is uncommon, not impossible. I laughed, uneasy. If this is a prank, it's not funny. It is not a prank, she said. And I am not here to entertain you. I should have walked away. Every part of my brain told me to. But curiosity has always been my worst flaw. Then why are you here? I asked. She took a single step forward. The air rippled. To make you an offer. I crossed my arms. I'm not buying anything. She met my gaze. I am offering you eternal life. The words landed heavily between us. I waited for the punchline. It never came. You will not age, she continued. You will not die from illness or injury. You will retain your memories, your identity, your will. You will outlast nations, stars, even this planet. My throat went dry. And the catch? I asked. There's a price, she said. One that cannot be undone once accepted. I exhaled sharply. Yeah. Figures. She studied my face, as if measuring something. You are skeptical. That is expected. I do not require your answer now. She turned to leave. Wait, I said before I could stop myself. If you're real, prove it. She paused. How? I thought quickly. My sister. She's in St. Mary's ICU. Heart failure. Doctors say she has days. The woman turned back to me. What is her name? She asked. Lena. She nodded once. She will wake in 8 hours. Her heart will stabilize. She will live a full, natural life. My breath caught. You can't know that. She stepped backward, fading into the air like a shadow at dawn. Evan, her voice echoed softly. When you are ready to discuss the price, you will find me where time forgets itself. Then she was gone. 8 hours later, my phone rang. And everything changed. Middle, proof, truth, and the weight of forever. Lena woke up exactly 8 hours later. The doctors were stunned. Words like spontaneous reversal and statistical anomaly filled the room. No one could explain it. They didn't have to. I sat beside her bed, numb, replaying every second of the night before. By the time I left the hospital, I knew 2 things. The woman had told the truth, and I had to find her again. She hadn't told me where to look, but she'd told me how. Where time forgets itself. I took a leave from work and followed every lead I could think of. Old structures abandoned by urban development. Places with strange electromagnetic readings. Buildings people said made their watches stop or their phones glitch. 3 days later, I found it. An old observatory, sealed off decades ago, perched on a cliff overlooking the dead industrial zone. The air around it felt slow, like sound moved reluctantly. She was waiting inside. You came, she said, unsurprised. I want the truth, I said. Who are you? She gestured to a stone bench.
Sit.
Understanding requires stillness. Saturday, my name, she said, is irrelevant. Your species would not pronounce it correctly. I am what you might call a custodian. Of what? Continuity. She explained slowly, carefully, as if speaking to a child without insulting them. Long before humanity learned to write, her kind had discovered a problem woven into reality itself. Intelligent civilizations rose, flourished, and collapsed, taking their knowledge with them. Progress reset, again and again. So her people became observers, archivists, offering a small number of individuals eternal life, not as rulers, but as anchors. Living memory, she said. Witnesses who carry context across ages. I frowned. So, you're building an immortal library made of people? Yes. And what do I have to give up? She met my eyes. You will no longer fully belong to any era, she said. Everyone you love will age.
Change. Die.
You will remain. I swallowed. That's not a price, I said. That's just immortality. She shook her head.
No.
That is only the beginning. She raised her hand, and the air between us shifted. Images appeared, countless lives, countless faces. Each eternal bears a burden, she continued. You will be bound by oath. You may not interfere in ways that alter the natural development of your species beyond recovery. You may not rule. You may not dominate. You may guide only when extinction looms. So, I can't fix everything. No, I thought of wars, famines, injustices. And if I break the rules, you will not be punished, she said quietly. You will simply end. The word echoed ominously. Why me? I asked. She considered. You value time. You do not seek power. And when offered proof of the impossible, you asked for truth, not advantage. I laughed bitterly. That's your selection criteria? It has served us well. I stood and paced. You're asking me to watch everyone I care about die. Yes. And do nothing most of the time. Yes. And live forever knowing I could help but shouldn't. She nodded. That is the price. I turned to her. Why would anyone accept this? Because, she said softly, some people care more about what comes after them than what happens to them. I left without answering. Weeks passed. Lena recovered fully. Life resumed its rhythm. The world went on, ignorant of the offer hanging over my head. But I noticed things now. Patterns. Cycles. The way humanity repeated the same mistakes with better tools. I saw disasters coming before others did. Not because I could predict the future, but because I recognized the past. I returned to the observatory. I have conditions, I said. She inclined her head. State them. I don't want to forget who I am. You will not. I don't want to become detached. Cold. That depends on you. And when I'm no longer useful, you will be allowed to rest. I hesitated. Will I be alone? She paused for the first time. No, she said. There are others.
Few.
Scattered across time. That surprised me. Can I meet them? In time. I looked out at the city lights below, fragile and brief. How does it happen? I asked. She extended her hand. Step beyond the boundary of time, she said, and accept the price. I took her hand. The world shattered and reassembled. Middle, living forever is not the same as living well. The transition didn't hurt. That surprised me most. No lightning, no agony. Just a moment where everything went silent, and then clearer. Colors sharpened. Sounds deepened. I felt anchored in a way I never had before. You are bound, she said. Welcome, Evan Calder. The years that followed blurred in strange ways. I watched Lena grow older while I stayed the same. I moved cities, changed names, learned to let go before attachment turned to agony. I met others like me, quiet figures woven into history. A librarian who had witnessed the fall of Alexandria. A farmer who remembered the first cities. A woman who had seen humanity leave Earth. We didn't gather often. Immortality didn't make us social. Our role was subtle. When extinction-level events loomed, we nudged. A warning here, a preserved archive there. A single voice at the right moment. Never heroes, never kings. Centuries passed. Humanity spread beyond the solar system, then stumbled, then adapted. And slowly, I began to understand the true cost. It wasn't loss. It was restraint. Knowing you could stop a war and choosing not to because stopping this war might cause worse ones later. Knowing you could reveal truths and staying silent until the world was ready. Eternal life demanded eternal patience. One day, far in the future, I met her again. You are weary, she observed. I'm tired of watching, I said. Tired of weighing consequences that span centuries. She nodded. Then you understand. Is this what you wanted? I asked. For me to become this? She looked almost sad. We wanted guardians, she said. Not gods. And if I regret it? You already do, she said gently. And you still choose to continue. I thought of humanity flawed, brilliant, repeating itself, learning slowly. I do, I said. Ending. The final choice beyond forever eons later, the universe itself began to thin. Stars burned out. Galaxies drifted apart. Heat death approached, slow and inevitable. The custodians gathered for the last time. There is nothing left to preserve, one said. Humanity had transcended physical form, becoming something vast and distributed, no longer bound by time. Only we remained. You may release your burden, she told us. The oath is fulfilled. I stood at the edge of existence, looking back at everything that had been. All this time, I said, I thought the price was watching others die. She smiled softly. No, she said. The price was learning when to let go. I stepped forward. Time closed behind me, and for the first time since that night in the plaza, I rested.